And the compassion and empathy that we need to have right now has to be at all-time high. That we can't fight hate with hate. We can't fight fire with fire. We have to be compassionate. We have to have empathy, and we have to start checking ourselves. Where am I being part of the problem? Where am I being part of what's going on, the unconsciousness?
This is Vivian Velasquez.
And this is Raul Velasquez.
Welcome to the God, Money, and Purpose podcast.
Welcome to the God, Money, and Purpose podcast. My name is Raul Velasquez, and I'm here with my beautiful co-host,
Vivian Velasquez.
And today we have a show for you. We have a new brand podcast called the God, Money, and Purpose, previously called the God, Money, and Sex podcast. Yeah. So if you're watching us in YouTube, watching us in Facebook, please comment, share, let us know where you're watching us from. We'd love to connect with you. We'd love to answer some questions that you have. We are going to talk about we can't fight fire with fire. So how are you feeling today?
Not so fiery. I'm good. But there's been days that I feel very fiery. And I think it's a good topic because I think there's a lot of that energy right now where we are, whether it's in our marriage, whether it's with God, whether it's, even like with ourselves, there's so much happening that we're feeding off this energy. And I know like even this whole week, like for us with our coaching clients and for ourselves, there's been this energy that it's kind of like it takes over you almost like, even if you don't want to, it like we feed into it. And I think we have to have this conscious decision of like, do I really want to be in this energy of just fire and anxiousness and like just like rawr.
So one thing that we did earlier in our relationship when we got married, I remember when we got married almost 20 years, actually more than 20 years ago, the one thing that Vi and I agreed on was not having a TV in our bedroom.
Oh, yes.
And not having cable in our house.
And only because my better half was addicted.
I'm addicted to TV.
To the television.
That's I love to watch TV. I love to watch cable. And when we got married, we
said no TV. And it even goes now as far as no TV, no electronics when it comes to the bedroom. And we are both, we have to hold ourselves accountable, but there's that little gentle reminder that sometimes when like I'm on the phone and
because now the TV's here because that's the problem.
TV. There's no actual TV, but we have our cell phone.
The problem is that now technology has evolved so much that now we're carrying on the TV. Because I remember the first year we got married, I had the antenna of the TV that would actually go into the back of the TV and put that antenna and plug it in. And I will stay up until 2-3 o'clock in the morning watching TV out of the local 2-3 channels that we had. And that was local stations that I used to watch. And now we have Netflix, now we have Apple TV, now we have tons of things that we could watch,
and it's endless because there's times that we find ourselves and we are so addicted to the drama and we're so addicted to what's happening there that's like it's captivating, and it's almost like it's just the next and the next and the next, and there is no pause. There's no like, okay, no more, I can't take it until like it's too late. And isn't that insane how like we could go through that?
And it's just energy because yesterday this month has been a really good month. For us. I mean, we were healthy. You were healthy. You were sick last month.
Yes.
I was sick 2 months ago. The kids are healthy. We're healthy. So that's number one priority. Like the family's being healthy.
Yes, health.
Business, thank God, we've been able to overcome some of the storms, and we're constantly innovating. We're constantly moving forward. We have new products, new services. Our coaching clients are getting results. So from that front, everything is going fine. And yesterday I was just having such a great day with my team. Had a great meeting. We had a great conversations with clients, and then you and I went out to Whole Foods. We went out to get some groceries. That has become now our thing. Has become now our date. Going to get some groceries.
We love Whole Foods.
So because it's very few places now we could go. Like everything is closing here. But when I came back to the car, Vivian was watching a video, and I saw her crying while watching this video. And usually we don't watch stuff in social media that is not uplifting. We're very mindful of what we consume, and I tell my kids all the time, especially my little girl, have a daughter that she's constantly bringing up news to us. She's constantly telling us
It
like
affects her, yeah.
this new thing is happening. This guy, did this thing here. So she's constantly in social media looking for bad news, and we tell her whatever you consume in your mind, it just stays in your mind.
Yeah, and that's something like I saw a post just the other day, and it says something along the lines like a diet is not only what you eat. A diet is also what you see, what you take in, what you put into your body, the clothes that you wear, the things that you hear, because that's part of like what you're consuming. And I thought that was like, wow, it's such a good reminder, because like I am one, like if it's not, there's so much negative thoughts that I already think and I say to myself, even though I say like I don't. If you are honest enough, like you do, right? So I don't need the social media to actually encourage that negativity. So there is so much out there, whether it's news, whether it's social media, whether it's a newspaper, whatever it is, like you have to have this conscious decision of like, how much garbage are you going to pick up? And really, like there's only so much garbage that we could hold on to, and then you have to let go. Like it's our job to like, for every, I tell my kids, it's like for every one negative thing that you say, add two positive. Like say something positive to yourself, because there's so much negative, messages, negative thoughts, negative stuff in social media. Is like, say something positive to refresh that part of you.
And that's where we start looking and consuming information. We have to be mindful and conscious of what we're consuming. So I'm constantly just not even consuming those type of videos or looking at those type of
you don't
things.
even do that, yeah.
But when I saw you watching that video and you were crying, and I looked at the video, like fuck, it really triggered the fuck out of me, because it was the video where you see George Floyd being killed right there by another man, and it brought tears to my eyes, because like one thing is hearing about this, one thing is just reading the headlines, one thing is just like hearing what this person is saying here and there, but then to watch it and to actually consume 7 minutes, because that's how long that video was, 7 minutes,
so heartbreaking.
and you see a man pleading for his life, and like fuck, like that just filled me up with anger, with emotion. And I remember walking into Whole Foods, like I wanted to punch somebody. That's how crazy it was. Like that's the energy. It's like I was angry, I was mad, and not to say that every single, like I wasn't mad in looking of I was mad because there's another man that couldn't listen to another man's pleading. And I'm not talking about just, whether you're cops or not cops. I mean, like, I respect the cops. I believe there is good people in every situation. There's good lawyers, there's bad lawyers. There's good doctors, there's bad doctors. There are good cops, there are bad cops. There's, good entrepreneurs and bad entrepreneurs. There's good and bad in every single industry. But when we're talking about a human being, and when you capture that, like everybody was witnessing this. It's kind of like we can't avoid that type of energy.
Yeah.
And we can. And this morning I was meditating on it, because I had to fucking let it out. I was so angry and so triggered by that when we went to dinner with the kids, we talked about it, and we were having the conversation about there's evil in this world. There's evil, and we just can't allow the evil to win just because it's right in front of us. We can't allow evil to win. And this morning when I was meditating, I was just asking God, like, how do I take this energy and channel it the right way? Because I know that if I, like, what's wrong in the world is always available, but also what's right. And as a man, when we get triggered and we just go into this dark place and we want somebody to pay, and we want to blame somebody, and from my patterns, it's like I don't want to take this energy into you. I don't want to take this energy into my kids. I don't want to project this anger, project this energy. So the one thing is we have to protect our family, our well-being, and not allow this evil and this energy to consume us that will poison our souls. And I remember, and I was telling my guys in a coaching call this morning that we went to India, and we met the Dalai Lama in India. I remember that conversation we had with him.
Yeah.
And he had, like, I don't know, 3 or 4 bodyguards with him. And I asked him, I said, how are you so peaceful? Remember how he came into the room and he was so full of peace and so full of love.
Yeah.
And I asked him, I said, how are you so peaceful? Like, people are trying to kill you. Like this, obviously.
And why? What, how can somebody want to kill the Dalai Lama?
And he said, like, you can't let their pain become your pain.
Mm-hmm.
Didn't Jesus said that you have to love your enemy and pray for the ones who persecute you, and that's easier said than done. But that was the answer this morning to me. Like, you have to learn to love your enemy.
Yeah.
You have to learn to pray for those that are persecuting us. Pray for those that want to see bad things in the world, because I truly believe it's not the majority. I truly believe that there is more good people in the world. There's more good things in the world, and not because I'm naive. It's because I see my kids and I feel the hope. I see my family and I'm hopeful for the future. I see these young kids, doing things, and
There's
I have
so
to
much that
believe there's
happens.
so much good out
Yes.
there, but we just focus on the negative, and yeah, that's the energy, and I even wanted to
I
do this
know.
podcast, to be honest with you. Like, I was
know.
triggered as fuck this morning, and I'm still processing this, and even with my team, like, we gotta learn how to process this energy in a productive way, because you can't fight fire with fire.
Yeah, I mean, it's really hard. I didn't even think you were going to go there because you were so upset about it. You didn't want to talk about it. But, you know, the truth is, like, with social media now, we get to see a lot more of what's happening out in the world. And like I said, like, we love to be connected to this drama, to everything that is happening. So it's like, it's captivating. Like, that energy is just like, it brings up this energy of like, okay, we're going to do something about it. But here's another thing, like, we have the darkness and we also have the light. So I feel like I love what Michelle Obama, how she says, like, when I went to one of her conferences, like, she was saying, like, when they go low, we go high. And what I got by that is like, listen, we can't feed into the energy of them being low, of someone hating and just accusing and abusing and just taking things out of proportion. Yes, you feel the anger. Yes, there's so much that happens, like, people step over their boundaries. I get it, but what do we get out of fighting that fire with fire? Right? It's like, how can we continue to move forward in this country, in this world, if we continue to do that? It's not going to go anywhere. And beautiful example of so many leaders that have come across, that have actually fought for us, for the liberty that we have today, with love, with light. Like, there's endless people that have done that. So it's like, the more that we shine our light, that we could actually bring that awareness to, like, okay, how can I take responsibility for the things that I do? Like, like, how can we stand together in these times? And it's not just with African Americans or with Asians or with Hispanics. We all are affected in some point or another. Like, if it's not this guy that got arrested or beat up or killed, like, it's going to be an African American.
It's
or
always
an
going to be
Asian.
something.
It's going to be someone,
It's always
right?
going to be something.
So it's like, we have to unite and unify in this kind of like in the same in the same way, in the same with the same mentality of, like, how can we make a change?
And that's one of the key things in here, and why I think this conversation is so important, is because it's not about getting things right. It's about evolving, because there is not a way to bring the man back. That is impossible.
No, it's so
How do
sad.
we evolve from this to avoid this happening to somebody else? How do we evolve from this experience, and how do we take this opportunity and acknowledge the fact that every single one of us, we're part of the problem?
Yeah,
like,
what
taking
responsibility that we
taking
have.
responsibility
Yeah.
where we are.
Yeah.
And I think the main thing here is compassion and empathy. And the compassion and empathy that we need to have right now has to be at all-time high. That we can't
Yeah.
fight hate with hate. We can't fight fire with fire. We have to, like, be compassionate. We have to have empathy, and we have to start checking ourselves. That, where am I being part of the problem? Where am I being part of what's going on? The unconsciousness, because it's a vibration, it's an energy field. Like in business, if you have fear in business, and if you're operating out of scarcity, you're only going to attract more scarcity. You're only going to attract more fear. In relationships, if you go in with just taking, and you want to just take for yourself, you're always going to attract those people going to take from you.
Yeah.
And same thing in life. So if we have this situation right now, it's because we're attracting this energy field where are we part of the problem instead of being part of the solution? How can we raise our vibration, raise our level of energy, and bring awareness so that there is love, there's joy, there is more people right now. Like right now, the coronavirus was the biggest enemy. Now we're coming out of this tunnel into the light, and we have more drama, more shit going on, and
it's always going to be something.
It's always going to be.
It's always going to. If it's not this virus, it's going to be another virus. If it's not this one person, it's going to be another person. Like those problems, I don't think will go away. I think it's more like you're saying, like how can we raise the awareness level to see like what can we change, and you know just, and I know it's a big topic, and I think like we just keep coming back to like ourselves. And I come back, like I speak to myself as like, listen, I could cry my eyes out, but okay, that's not enough. Now, what can I do? And I think even now with like social media, like we have such an impact that we could spread a message of whatever it is that you feel that you could change the world. Like, so for me, for instance, like I take responsibility. Like I could speak to more women, and I could make more changes in myself. I know that I could impact a woman, because then that woman could go back and impact a family nucleus, and that family could be impacted because of, you know, for their sons or their daughters. And how is that going to have a ripple effect on the world? Because at the end of the day, we are all interconnected, and everything that we say and we do, like it has an impact. And I think if we believe that really in our core, like what can I do to change? How can I infect this world with more light, with more love? Like that's the part that we sometimes we don't think about it, and we stop, and then we just feed into like, and it's easy because it's such a like a quick spark that you could just go and like, I hate this person, or I want to hurt this person. It's easier than you finding the compassion to say like, how what is this person going through that I could see from their shoes, and have the compassion and the empathy to say like, what is really wrong with this person? Because here's the thing, like I'm thinking like when somebody feels superior, has this inferiority, I don't know how to say that in English, but you feel superior than the other person, deep down it's like you feel like you are better than someone else. But really, like God created us all in his image and equally, right? Like with the same soul and the same heart. Like at the end, like we all have the same love and the same core. But there's a fear that grows inside of us, and this little seed of fear all of a sudden gets bigger and bigger and bigger. And then that's when, like, at the end of the day, we start to see like this man or this woman that really are like just mentally ill because they didn't take care of this fear that was very little, that all of a sudden grew up to be this huge monster. And now we have these men and these women out there in the world that nobody took the time to speak to them. Nobody took the time to consider like, well, what is your problem? Why are you so angry at the world? And maybe you just need a hug. Maybe you just needed somebody to talk to. Maybe you just needed a friend. Like they didn't have that. And all of a sudden it was like this mental illness, because like just going back to like what you were saying about this guy, like something has to be wrong in his head. Something had to be wrong in his heart, even though like, yes, he is an authority, but nobody should have that authority over someone to take someone's life. No one.
And I think you hit in the head right there when you said probably there were signs and nobody took their time to actually speak to that guy. And I think that's where we come in as being part of the solution, is we need to start having conversations with people that act a certain way. And instead of judging, like really start asking like, hey, is everything okay?
Yeah.
Start checking with each other, especially now. Like there's so much shit going on right now in the world with all the negative stuff. It's just a vibration that is contagious.
Yeah.
So one of the things that I told my clients is don't let this energy affect who you are. Protect your family, protect your soul. Don't allow this energy to dictate the choices that you make, because
okay,
the media will portray like the energy is gonna be there.
Yeah.
It's our job to take this energy and do something productive with it, or to allow this to consume us.
Okay, so I love what you say there, but also here's the thing, like I think too many of us, and I put myself in that boat, we've been thinking like, okay, let's not that energy affect us, right? But at the same time, we can't be in like this, like, okay, just it's like I'm not gonna feed into it. I think it's almost like, okay, feel what you're feeling, acknowledge what you're feeling, and at the same time, like, we've been learning about energy, and it's been so amazing, so like eye-opening for me. It's kind of like, okay, the only way that you could change somebody else's energy is not for them to like suck your energy and just make you feel like drained, but it's you willingly giving someone else that compassion and that love and that energy to actually rise to a better position than where they are. Because I think a lot of the times we've been in that place where, like, you know, like, I see you, you seem like a maniac, but I'm not even going to say anything to you, or I'm not even going to acknowledge that you're there, or I'm not going to acknowledge that there's a problem, or I'm not going to acknowledge that there's a person that is being rude. Like, no, like, I think that's the sense of our responsibility. Is like, no, it's enough. Like, that's where we have to learn to draw the line, and to come from a place of love, and to come from a place of courage, and to come from a place of like compassion, and to say something. Because there's been too many times, too many instances when we see stuff and we just look the other way.
Yeah.
And I think because we have looked the other way is that we let men, women, people act this way when we could have stopped it a long time ago. When a man like this, like, I'm sure he has a record of things that he has done in the past. Why hasn't someone stopped him already?
But those are the conversations that we don't know. Like, we don't know. Like, we don't know. Maybe, the guy just snapped. And the one thing that we do know is that it happened. The one thing that we do know is the facts that we have now. Yeah. Right? And what I want every man that's hearing this to understand is that you have a choice of how you react to this.
Yes.
We all have darkness inside of us. We all have, that evil inside of us. Every single one of us is capable of doing evil things.
Yeah.
But allowing situations like this to consume us is not healthy. Thinking about this thing 24/7 is not healthy. Allowing yourself to be angry and taking this on other people is not healthy. Creating the riots that we have right now was protesting, and that's not healthy. We're just destroying.
It's fire with fire.
It's fighting fire. We're destroying our own communities.
Yeah.
So the realization is you have to understand that there's one way to do this, and there's another way to do it. Is what's useful and what's not useful. Every single choice that I make, every decision that I take, is asking myself, is this going to be useful? Or is this not going to be useful? And as men, that sometimes, and I truly believe that we repress our darkness. And that's what men snap. We repress our darkness. We repress our feelings. And all of a sudden somebody says something, somebody cuts us off, and then want to kill that person, or want to just run off and curse them out, or do whatever it is that we need to do. Like, we need to learn how to manage our darkness and take it out. Whether you do sports, whether you go to the gym, whether you just work out, do whatever you need to do in order for you to manage this energy. And because that's all it is. It's energy.
Yeah. And it's part of us being like having that emotional intelligence that we talk about, and also be like, I would say to the woman, it's like, have that, which we talk about all the time, and I speak to the women all the time. Be selfish to yourself and have that self-love, because then we go back again to like, to yourself. Like, how do you affect everyone else? It's through you taking care of yourself, you taking care of your own demons, making peace with them, whoever and whatever that is, and then being real about it, confronting what's going on the inside, and changing the program of like, okay, what else can I do different for myself? How can I love myself from this authentic place and really serve the people that come in front of me?
And that's just, number one is awareness.
Yeah.
Like, awareness. That there's one thing that we've learned of doing this work is the awareness. Like, we're not our thoughts, we're not our feelings, we're not our emotions, we're the awareness of our thoughts, feelings, and emotions. And that's the first thing. Every time I have the awareness and I feel pissed off or something's not going the right way, the second thing is just turning to God. Right, to a higher being. Is
higher version than yourself.
Like, I'm asking God, like, that's what I did this morning. Like, I'm asking God, how do I process this? Yeah. What's triggering inside of me? Like, maybe the helplessness of like not being able to do something. What's triggering inside of me? And then the moment that you have that is just letting go of that energy, or sending that energy towards something productive, creating something, and not projecting your own hatred, your own feelings, your own insecurities, and giving yourself the permission. Now you're feeling less than, and you have to continue to believe that you are here with a purpose. Yeah. Any human being is here in this earth with a purpose. I mean, you know how lucky we are to be human beings, like how blessed we are that we're alive in this time. Even in times of crisis, we can make a difference. Even in times of like this, we could be the voice for somebody right now. So if you're listening to this and you're feeling like a victim right now, like there's no reason why you feel like a victim. There's no reason why you have this energy. You have to count your blessings and realize that every single day, like God and the universe are giving you exactly what you need for you to grow and to evolve. And this pandemic, this crisis, this energy is not going to last forever. If we focus on what's good in the world, we're going to find what's good in the world.
Yes, don't stay
and whatever
stuck
what we
in that
consume
energy.
in our heads every single day, there's a program that we're going to run in our brains. The media is trying to program, whether you believe in whatever you believe, media, TV, and music, they all have an agenda of programming. They want to create consumers. They want to create unconsciousness because we want to fall into that trap.
Yeah, so
you have the choice to be aware of what you consume. You have the choice to choose what you consume and choose how you react to the situation in life.
Yes. And we have the choice to get up and to reprogram ourselves and to redesign the way that our day is going to look like, redesign what our life is going to look like, what our relationship with God is going to look like. A lot of the times I think we just, we don't have this clear vision as to like, what is it that we want even for the day? So whatever comes in our phone, that's whatever we're taking in. No, like you have a choice to make.
Don't react, create, like meditate, pray, do whatever it is you need to do to break the pattern of unconsciousness, to be able to ask yourself, am I making their pain my pain? Am I being triggered by somebody else? Is somebody else dictating what I believe, dictating how I react, dictating how I show up into this world? Because if somebody else is doing that to you, then that means that they have power over you, and that is not the truth. The truth is that you have the power of choice. God gave you the power of choice, and you choose whether to feed evil or to feed the good that's in this world.
Yes, nobody should have power over you. You should have power over yourself, and you should be able to make those choices from a place of love and the right intention if you really have the time to connect to self.
And I think that's where we'll close this episode. Is just connect.
Yeah.
The suffering is because we feel disconnected. We feel alone. We feel like somebody's against us.
Yeah, we're less than.
And if you feel disconnected right now, just reach out to somebody. And if you don't have anybody, just reach out to us and send us a message through Facebook, Instagram, YouTube. Like, we're here.
Yeah.
We want to help as many people as we can realize that you're not alone. You're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. All we need to do is take ownership of where we are. All we need to do is to accept that we have darkness inside of us, that we have evil at the same time inside of us. We also have goodness. We also are good people. We also have the capacity to do great things. And all we need to do is choose every single day which one is going to show up. Is it going to be the darkness or the light? Am I going to use the darkness that I have? I'm going to face my darkness so I can feed the light? Or am I going to turn into a victim and feed the darkness that's in this world?
Yeah. You got to be okay with both of them.
We're all light and dark.
Yes.
We're not perfect beings.
Yes.
Every single one of us, we're work in progress. So give yourself the permission to feel that energy, to feel the pain, feel the anger, but now channel that to do something productive and to be able to help you get closer to that ultimate image. Thank you for listening. Thank you for tuning in. Let us know in the comments questions for us or...
Yeah, we'll definitely love to answer any questions that you guys have. If you do, we'll answer them next week. So please, if you like and share, comment. This is like we do it with the best of intention because we want to reach as much people as we can. This is part of like us spreading the message, and you could do it too. It's not just us. Like, everybody has this platform now, social media. But if you like what you're hearing, just comment, share.
And follow us. Follow us everywhere. Instagram, YouTube, Facebook. Follow us everywhere except for our bedroom. That's where we keep it private. Yep. Thank you, babe, for listening to my rant today.
Yes.
Every single one of you, thank you for listening. Learn it, live it, experience it.
Love life.
Love life. If you receive any value from this conversation, comment, subscribe, and share so we continue to impact more people and take it to the next level.
And please send us your comments and questions so we could answer them in the next podcast.
See you in the next episode.